Okay, so I hope you can see what my title is, which is Cave Time, Rest and Recover, so you can tend and befriend. I'm David Peters. I'm Professor Emeritus at University of Westminster's Centre for Resilience, and we've been researching and training around resilience for healthcare workers for quite a few years. So a little bit of theory, and then I hope 15, 20 minutes of practice. So first of all, the obvious things, we're going to care for other people, we should care for ourselves. So the metaphor is to get your oxygen so you can help the other people. The waters are stormy. Can you see this image here of a storm-tossed ship? I hope you can. So the question is, how are we going to keep ourselves afloat? How are we going to keep our team afloat? And the fact is that we need to be self-compassionate. There's a lot about healthcare which is great, and there's a lot about healthcare which is pretty exhausting, emotionally challenging, and often we don't have the resources, and often we don't have the resources at home either, and home life is challenging, and particularly at the moment in the middle of the COVID crisis. So you know, we do get wound up, and why is that? Well, it's partly because our emotional life evolved on the open plains and was appropriate for that. But now, of course, we live in a very different world, but the challenges still trigger the old instinctual emotions. And the new brain's quite new. That's why it's called the new brain. Clues in the name. And it's new, it's 250,000 years old, and it's great, but it's built on top of some ancient hardware. The mammalian emotional mind, the reptilian brain stem, and they work together a lot of the time. However, we have these survival emotions, and they're there to help us flight, and they're there to help us hunt and feed, and they're there too to help us recover afterwards. And we even have a whole set of emotional responses which allow us to freeze and fold and flop when we feel trapped and overwhelmed and we need to be numb. So we evolved at a time when we were having to hunt, or sometimes we were being hunted, and nowadays we're still to some extent hunted. We're not hunted by sharp-toothed saber cats, but we are hunted by all kinds of things in our lives that present challenges and things we need to escape from. We hunt targets, and we don't always get back to the cave. So what do we do to find cave time? Well, that's a really important set of questions, especially in healthcare, because we get all these stressful wind-ups. But if we can find cave time, then we can, and we can switch it on, we can find ways to keep the new brain going, and we can find ways to calm down our emotions so we make fewer errors, and we're better communicators. So the combination that I want to talk to you about and show you is using breath, using mindful awareness of the body, using positive emotion, and using these increased feelings of safety. So we get a positive wind up. So stress isn't what happens, it's how we perceive what happens, and we perceive threat in all kinds of ways. It turns on the amygdala threat response. The body goes into escape mode or attack mode. And interestingly, just a few gentle 5-second out breaths, as all the yogis taught us, but now we have the science behind that, can regulate the heart rhythms and turn on feelings of safety so that the flight and fight response is reduced and the brain continues to work in a more compassionate mode. So how do we trigger these mindful moments? That's the question. Are we getting enough cave time for deep recovery? Because on the front line, it's not going to get a lot less stressful, but can we change the way we respond? Can we act mindfully? Yeah. Can we act from a place of compassion? And so, as they say in NEF economics, we can remain connected, we can be active, take notice, keep learning, and give. Okay, so what I want to do, if I can get my little show out of the way, is run us through a short yoga nidra. Now, yoga nidras, as you know anything about yoga therapy, will will know that these are deeply healing states of mind and body. And I want to suggest that you could use a technique like this at the end of the day, maybe when you come home from work, quieten the body and the mind down. And if you did that, then you'd need to perhaps ask other people in the household to help you make that safe space. Just say you're going to take 20 minutes for refueling, and then you might also like to use this sort of technique at bedtime, because sleep is really important time for recovery for all of us in healthcare. So you need about 20 minutes, and you want to make yourself comfortable. So if you're going to do this now, make sure you're not operating any heavy machinery. And if you're listening in somehow while you're driving, please pull over. But basically, this is a rest exercise. Yeah? It's to be done when you can lie down for 15 or 20 minutes. So if you're going to do this now, then get yourself a yoga mat or a blanket or whatever, but be somewhere where you're going to be able to lie very comfortably. Yeah, maybe a pillow for the head. But if you wanted to try it out in the place where you're sitting, that's fine. But make sure you're warm enough. If you're going to do it in the chair, make sure you can relax, get comfortable. If you were lying down, I would suggest that you use the Shavasana, the corpse posture, with your arms just away from the body a little bit, palms up, legs about a shoulder width apart, let them relax, and your feet relax and flop apart. And then just notice the breathing. Don't change it. Just notice how the breath comes and goes. Letting all the breath go. And as your body relaxes and as your mind quietens, you may drift off, that's fine. You may find thoughts coming into your mind, that's fine, but just let them go, let them drift in, drift out. Return to my voice if you can, but if you drift off, if you go to sleep, that's fine too. Somewhere deep down, the words will get in and to your core self, and your body and your mind will quieten down, become more spacious. So each time you breathe out, the body relaxes a little. You breathe easily, you let all the breath go, and you become aware of the movement of the breathing in the belly. Rising, the belly rising as you breathe in and falling as you breathe out. Take a few deep breaths, letting all the breath go. Each out breath, the muscles relax a little bit, the heart slows down a little bit. You move out of tension, out of flight and fight, and you move into cave time. Rest, digest, tend, befriend, the mind state of empathy, compassion. And so let your body become looser. Feel the weight of it pleasantly pressing down onto the floor or into the chair you're sitting. You can notice your breath, and each out breath relaxes you. And I want to suggest you take your attention down into your feet. Just notice your toes and your feet. Notice how they contact the floor. And as you breathe out, let them become heavy and comfortable. Another breath takes you down into your legs, your knees and your thighs, and you notice the contact with the floor or with the chair. Notice sensations in your feet and legs. Any feelings there? Warmth or tension? Tingling? The contact of your clothes? Just be aware of the sensation. Your legs are comfortably heavy. And you notice that. And you move your attention on to your low back and your bottom and your pelvis. Just sending your breath down into your lower body. Breathing easily, letting all the breath go. Noticing the movement of your belly. Noticing any sensations in your back, your belly, your pelvis. Breathing easily, letting all the breath go. Noticing how the movement of breathing also spreads into your back, your upper back and your chest very subtly. Notice these sensations of movement. Each time letting all the breath go. Letting your chest and arms be spacious. Feeling loose and relaxed. Noticing your throat, your jaw, and your mouth and tongue. Notice any tightness or tension there, and let it melt away. So your face is relaxed around the eyes and the forehead. Just noticing that. Letting all the breath go. Just noticing your scalp and your ears, your neck and your shoulders, your arms, hands and fingers. Noticing any sensation. Letting your upper body be heavy and relaxed and warm. Breathing easily, letting all the breath go. And as your body relaxes and your mind quietens and your body feels spacious, you might notice a longing for rest, longing for energy, longing for deep relaxation and peace. And I want to suggest you just affirm this wish and anchor it in the here and now. An affirmation like, I am flowing with peace. I'm deeply relaxed. Just let that affirmation repeat in your mind. In the here and now, I am rested. Right now, I am flowing with peace. And with the next breath, let a wave of relaxation spread down through the body, down through the chest and the belly, through the pelvis, down through the legs and feet and toes. And with the next breath, let a wave of relaxation send healing down through your arms and legs, down into your feet and toes, down into your arms and hands and fingers. Each breath, inhaling rest and healing. Each out breath, sending away tension. Each out breath, sending away anxiety, to be replaced by calmness, calm, spacious. Just for a couple of minutes now, in silence. Bring your attention slowly to the center of your chest, to your heart chakra. And recall, if you will, feelings of safety and peace. A place where you felt rested and safe and full of joy. And let that sense of well-being spread out through your body into your arms and hands and fingers, into your legs and feet and toes. You might then want to imagine that sphere of well-being spreading out, expanding from you. And that it's continually fed at the center by love. breathing easily. And so now, let's slowly return to our physical center and our physical presence in the room, noticing the solidity of the body, noticing how you can wriggle your toes and wriggle your fingers. Noticing that you can open your eyes if they've been closed. You can look slowly around to the right and the left. Then you can see colors and shapes. Give yourself a few moments just to return fully. Notice in the room a few things that are blue, a few things that are red, perhaps a few things that are green. That's good practice to bring yourself fully back after you've been in deep rest. Good. So I hope you can find something useful in that exercise, that sequence of heart breathing, heart focus, heart feeling, being in the body, mindfully in the body, noticing sensation, bringing in positive emotion, letting the ruminative churning of the mind, the monkey mind, let it let go as you focus on embodiment. Good. I hope you find that helpful.
Thank you, David, for that lovely, calming practice. Would you like to offer any other words of wisdom, or would you like to leave everybody with this now?
No, I'm content. Thank you very much for the opportunity. It's very sweet. I'm here in Cornwall, looking out over the beautiful river.
Ah, how fortunate are you?
I know, I'm locked down in paradise. Here you are. So I just had a piece of luck there.
If anyone has any questions, they can put them on the side. You have some comments about how much they loved it. Oh, someone raised their hand. Joanne Hart, can you write something in the text, Joanne, for us, please? And David can respond. Because this isn't a normal Zoom meeting, you need to actually ask your question in the chat or in Q&A. Oh, here we go. Ah, David, calming and beautiful. You touched us with serenity. Ohms from London, Kirsty. Here's a question. How can you switch off a busy day?
Well, first you have to notice how you feel at the end of a busy day. And then give yourself a little bit of space and time. And I think, for me anyway, it's necessary to go into the body and to quieten the body and to give my churning mind something to think about, which isn't the usual churning. There's a wonderful clip you might find on YouTube of a lovely young Tibetan monk who says, the monkey mind's always giving you an opinion. Whether you listen to opinion, that's up to you. So you must give the monkey mind something to do. And he says, monkey mind, watch the breath. And the monkey mind says, good idea. And then you watch the breath. And as you watch the breath and as you watch the body, the monkey mind quietens down. And the mind follows that process of quietening in the body. And as the breath slows down, there's a sense in which the heart becomes very much more rhythmic. And as that happens, you get a feeling of safety. And so that little, in 5 minutes of heart breathing, heart focus, heart feeling, practicing gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful emotion for well-being and for quietening the soul at the end of a busy day.
Lovely. Somebody asked if the slides were available. We're not giving slides out from HealthFlix because there's so much to do and it's a free service, but all the talks will be available on our channel at HealthFlix, so you can watch it again and see the slides there.
I'm glad the slides worked. I wasn't sure. They did work. Huh?
They worked.
Okay, good.
They worked.
All right.
Anything else? Okay.
I just want to say to all you people on the front line, from me, somewhat in retirement down in Cornwall, digging my garden and watching the river, that you're doing great work. It's great work. It's hard work. I want you to be self-compassionate if it doesn't always work out the way you wanted to do, if you're not always perfect. But remember that as you re-energize yourself, as you focus, as you return a little bit of the love you give out, give it to yourself, you'll be able to recover and refuel and go back and do your best again.
And by the way, actually, for people on the front line, HealthFlix has a donate button because we're donating to Doctors Without Borders. It's not to do with us directly, but we wanted to give individuals an opportunity that wanted to support people on the front line a direct inroads to do that. And we as a collective felt that they were an international charity that we could strongly support. So you could also do that if you're not on the front lines and you want to help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you again. And I hope you have more Zen in Cornwall. Many of us probably wish we were there.
Mm-hmm. I send you love.
Send you right back to you, David. Take care.
Bye-bye.